start with one topic, but we just see where we end up. You know, it's basically the game of telephone. This is Tangent Telephone. Wait, how did we end up here?
Oh, hello my dudes and welcome back to motherfucking Tangent Telephone. I'm going to apologize in advance, well, for so many things. Firstly, it is so goddamn loud where I live now, okay? And if you're watching the video, this set is not anywhere near done yet. I do have my very comfy, fluffy chair over here. Aside from that, I don't have any of the soundproofing done yet. And I don't know what the mic is gonna pick up. Cars, the constant motorcycles, the random screaming. There are just so many sounds happening constantly. Part of me wants to stop this for a second and listen and make sure it's not like unbearable. Like it sounds like my windows are open. They're not. All my doors are closed. This also is the room in my apartment that's like closest to the busy street, but it's also my podcast studio and my office. I debated on turning my closet in my room into the studio because it's like a walk-in closet and it could be like super contained, but I kind of need that, you know, to store my clothes, even though I have clothes in every other closet in here. Anywho, you know what, we're just gonna get into it. I'm so sorry if it's insanely noisy. I'll do my best to fix that when I'm editing. Hi, I have not seen you or talked to you in 2 weeks, over 2 weeks really, but the last 2 weeks there wasn't an episode because 2 weeks ago I think I was quite literally moving. I'm still moving, to be honest. My room, well, my clothing is still in boxes. I think everything else is unboxed, but the room that I've like saved for last for whatever reason, well, I know why. It's because I'm waiting for my closet system organization situation to be here, which I don't know when that's coming. And so I've just been kind of like living out of boxes when it comes to clothing. So yeah, and I'm trying to think. A week ago from today, when I would have been recording last week's podcast, most of my house was still in boxes. So it has literally taken me 2 weeks, and my clothes are still in boxes, to like be moved in. And I mean, clearly the set isn't done, though I have built so many things in this room that you can't see right now, but what's on my arm? What the hell is that? So yeah, ignore the mic in the shot. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna miss another week, okay? We're gonna do this. God damn it. I will save, you know, any sort of like, I'm trying to move my chair forward because, oh my gosh. Speaking of this chair, it actually got delivered yesterday, and thank God when I went down to like the package gate area that there were like these two men. One of them was very attractive. 2 men, and I was just gonna get a little, you know, I was having this debate with myself yesterday. You know, like the rolly thing that they put your luggage on when you go to a hotel? Is that called a bellhop, or is the bellhop the person that does it? Because I wanted to call it a bellhop, but then I was like, wait, is that what the person that operates that thing is called? Is it just like, not a trolley, what is that? What is it called that you put your suitcases on? I know what it's called, but the words that are coming into my head right now are gurney and trolley, and it's certainly neither of those. But I was gonna try and take this chair. This chair came in the biggest box I've ever seen in my entire life. I was gonna try and take it up to my apartment using the rolly thing and just put it in an elevator, whatever. It like wouldn't even fit through the door to get into the lobby. And then just, it was so, the chair would still be down there if it weren't for those 2 men. And then, of course, like, even the security guy was helping out and the front desk guy was helping out. And we got this box, and then I couldn't get it inside my apartment because it was too big to fit through the door. So I had to unbox it outside and bring the chair inside. But it's here, and it's really cute. And I know you can't really see it right now, but once I have the whole set the way that I want it, you'll be able to see, like, you'll like it. I just know. I know you. I know what you like. I know your style. I know your home decor aesthetic, and you're gonna like it. It'll be more of like you'll see more of me, you'll see more of the set. It won't be so like, hi, why is my camera battery flashing? I would just like to ask God why that's happening. I swear to God. Okay, we're gonna have to switch cameras really quick, which is gonna make this very difficult for me because that camera does not let me plug the mic into it, which means I'm gonna have to do things in a very difficult way. Okay, BRB. If you're watching the video, maybe you can tell, or maybe you can't, but I'm sure you can because I look a little bit worse for the wear than when you last saw me. It's currently midnight. I desperately wanted to finish recording this episode. Someone's car alarm was going off. Fantastic. I wanted to finish recording this episode today, and instead of, switching cameras and everything, I was like, let me just charge my battery. Let me go and do what I need to do. And then I just got home and we're doing it, okay? I stay up till like 3-ish every day anyway. So I'm still gonna be working after I finish this. So, I mean, what the frick was that? Bugs just made a very weird sound. She's still getting used to this place. I felt like maybe she was depressed, which is odd. I mean, every time I've moved, she's like curious and walking around and exploring and like a little bit unsure, but like adapts very quickly. And I mean, every time I've moved, it's been like an upgrade. And while this is an upgrade and it's more space for her, I don't have freaking 6 flights of stairs anymore for her. There's no stairs, which is so crazy. It's crazy how much space I have now. She's been acting a little bit weird, and I don't know quite what it is, if she's not used to it yet, but like it's been over 2 weeks now. Anywho, let's get into, you better believe that I brought my phone booth with me, because of course I did. I feel like my voice is like gone for the day. Like I've used it so much today. I've talked a lot today, and it's at that point where like I'm sounding a little raspy. I like rusty spoons. If you caught that reference, I love you. But yeah, I look a little, not crusty, more just like I've been wearing this makeup since like 7 a.m. and it's 12:16. It's just a lot. It's a lot of hours. Okay. Oh, I grabbed 2 on accident. Let's see. These are both like very deep that I could literally talk for such a long time about, but I don't know if I'm in that headspace right now. The first one is about detachment, which I have a lot to say about. I just don't know how to even start going about that. I would love to talk about that. I just don't know that that's the vibe right now. And then the other one says mommy issues versus daddy issues. I can't. Like, it's too... They're gonna go back in. I actually have a lot to say about attachment and detaching. Favorite quote right now? I feel like I have a lot of quotes that I like, but it's not like I go through phases where I'm like, oh, right now I have a favorite quote. Do I? Do I have like a mantra that I'm currently... I mean, this isn't a quote, and I wouldn't say this is my favorite quote right now, but it is my lock screen on my phone. And it's so simple, and like it applies to everything, no matter what moment I'm in. It's oddly helpful, but it says, the universe knows the right time, the right place, the right person, and the right answer to your prayers. Trust the divine timing. But I wouldn't say that's my favorite quote. I'm trying to think. It's probably like a Rick Rubin quote. Well, I suppose a quote that I've thought about quite a bit recently, and probably because I recently listened to and read The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. It's so good. Like there's so much that I have taken from it already, and it's like I could read it every day and take something else that's going to like literally change the way that I operate. Like when I first listened to it as an audiobook, there were so many times that it like, bookmarked it, whatever you do with Audible, that I saved on my phone because they were just so inspiring to me in the way that like, for me to be inspired, it takes like my entire perspective shifting on something that's like right in front of me, if that makes sense. But I just remember this quote. He said, something less perfect may seem more human, more real, ultimately more desirable. It's sort of like something I've always lived by, but it's weird. I actually thought about it today because I had a shoot over the weekend. Today, the photographer posted one of the photos on his story, and I went to just go repost it, and I look at it and I'm like, this motherfucker used Face App, that app that makes everyone look, honestly, I think terrifying, but it's like the same. There's like presets that change your entire face, and I noticed that he used it on me, and he made my face very like long and slim, which like it's not, it's more angular. I have quite the jaw, I have cheekbones. Like, I don't know, he just made it like, it looked like a little bit like a horse face. I had literally spoken to him about how I hated that app, and when he was asking me, you know, how I wanted him to edit the photos, I was like, I prefer when I just am sent all of the raw images. You know, he was saying like, your Instagram impressed me, and like the fact that I could tell that you didn't really edit your photos much, and also the fact that in person you look like your photos. In fact, I think the photos don't do you justice, which was super sweet and nice, right? So it was very weird when I noticed that he had just used FaceApp on my photo and just posted it, like. So I let him know, and then he sent me a few raw images. But the idea of perfect, I mean, and it goes with not just photos, obviously, but anything artistic, anything human, really. It's more human when it's less perfect, and it's more desirable. And it's weird because, going off of the photo example, most people use that app or some kind of app or something to tweak things about themselves. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot. It's so interesting because I'm curious for you listening, when you see a photo that you notice has some sort of, I don't even want to call it a flaw, because the example I was going to use is like pores on your face or like scars. For example, I have scars on my hip that I've never edited out of a photo, and they do, I guess, kind of look like stretch marks. I think I don't have stretch marks, and that's just a weird genetic thing. I should, based on what my body has been through, but I just don't get them. Side note. So yeah, I have these scars on my hip, and like, when I see a photo that has something that's human, not so perfect and retouched, like, I am very much more drawn to that versus like the perfect image, the FaceApp image. I want to say that I think most people are. Granted, I mean, this goes so much. It's one thing to be like a societally attractive person and post a perceived flaw. I understand that it's different when you're not like, what is the word I'm looking for? Not societally, like universally attractive. I get that like a lot of people are going to be like, what is this? Am I making any sense? But I think that majority of people really appreciate and connect more with, since I'm talking about photos right now, it's not the best example for this quote because it's really not whatever. But I think most people connect with that more when you see a photo and someone has pores and, I don't know, freckles. What are other things do people edit out? I don't know if you can see. You can't. Oh, you can. Bug just jumped up here. I think when it's your own photo, not personally, surprisingly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to post a photo if I don't like the way that I look in it. And that's most photos. Where was I going with that? If I look at a photo of myself and I notice all of the perceived flaws, I just am not going to post it for the most part, but inevitably there's going to be something that I don't like about it, whether it's like my skin texture or whatever it is. And I like that. I like that I'm a human, you know? It's just interesting that, like, I think I would venture to say that people in general like to see the photos that aren't heavily edited, but then there's still this idea when you're posting a photo personally that like it has to be perfect because that's the only way that people are going to desire you or think you look beautiful. But then, am I making sense? Probably not. But no, I mean, I use that photo example because that's something that happened recently, but it goes for everything. Perfection is, number one, obviously not real, and number two, it's not that it's not interesting, but it's more shallow, you know? For example, my YouTube videos, I like to leave in, well, I'm a bad example because I am kind of just a mess on the internet. Like, I will leave in all of the good, all of the bad. Whereas if I wasn't like that and I was more of like a fully produced, everything is put together and scripted and perfect YouTuber, and then suddenly I started kind of dipping my toe into being more vulnerable and not so scripted and like perfect, I think that people would find that refreshing because it's not perfect, and that's what is interesting to humans, I think. I do think that like it's the weird little quirks that make things interesting. I mean, look at like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I don't know why that just popped into my brain, but that bitch is crooked, okay? And everybody and their mother be taking a photo, putting their hand up like this, trying to lean on it, and they never get it right. It's always off. But that's just an example of how the lack of perfection, it just doesn't, things don't have to be so serious. I just think that quote can apply to a lot of things, and so I like that. Would I say it's my favorite quote right now? No, because I don't think I have a singular favorite quote right now. I feel as though I'm fading. And I know this probably was a short episode, and that makes me sad because I didn't want it to be like that, but I'd rather just do like an extra episode this week, actually. Maybe we should do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do another episode this week. It won't be at this time, even though I'm usually very awake at this time. I think I'm normally operating on a lack of sleep, but it's like an okay amount, I think. I mean, probably not scientifically, but since moving, oh my gosh, my sleep has been like non-existent, and there's just a lot going on, and I still have to do work tonight, so I think that's why I think that's actually the problem. If I had gotten all my work done and it was this time, I'd be fine, but I have that in my head, and I'm just kind of stressed out about that. It's not lending to the best version of myself for this podcast. But can you even see the phone? She's here. Don't worry, the phone is here. What? Are you licking my toe? So yeah, I'm sorry. This episode was just full of apologies, which is fitting for the time that we're in. I feel like everyone online is either posting apologies or people are waiting for people to post apologies. I mean, look, I could talk about internet drama, but I don't know that my audience would really love that much. But Colleen Ballinger, what the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's right in front of you, and then like, anyway. We'll do another episode this week. Oh my gosh. My laptop shows words and their definitions, and the word that just popped up was manifestation. If you don't use that screensaver if you have an Apple computer, I highly recommend it. It has yet to show me a word that I did not already know, but I think it's interesting, and sometimes I zone out and I am staring at it and it's telling me words, and I'm like, I do know what that word means, but it's cool to see a definition. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for the next word to pop up. See, reaction. Okay, I need to stop because it is clearly wackadoodle time. I'm so happy to be back. Oh my gosh, Bug, what are you doing? So happy to be back. And thanks for watching or listening, and be sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube, rate the podcast, leave me a review. Viscid, glutinous, or sticky? Not to be confused with gluttonous. Okay. Also, just a random side note, I post nonstop on Snapchat every single day. If you didn't know that, now you know that. At this point, I just need to turn the camera off and just stop, because I can't. I'm trying to wrap this up with a bow, but there's no bow to be found. Did you hear that man scream?